My name is Travis. I'm presenting on behalf of Evan, Steven, and Alina, and we chose to go for concussion protocols within sports. I'm going to start with what is a concussion. Concussion is a mild traumatic brain injury that affects brain function, includes concentration problems, memory, balance, mood, and sleep issues, and symptoms can include vomiting, fatigue, blurry vision, etc. Here's a short little video from the CDC giving a visual representation of what happens during a concussion. So, yeah, needs rest after it happens. And some more info from the CDC, some protocols they recommend that basically within an hour of injury, if you see any of these, you need to call 911 to have them get to the emergency room or at least do so yourself. Some big ones are, nausea, vomiting, headache that won't go away or gets worse, loss of consciousness or you can't stay awake. So if you see any of these, you very likely have a concussion, need to get to the emergency room. CDC continues with a 6-step process of getting back to your activity. Step one with basically just like very light duty, kind of getting back to school or work. Two, with very light aerobic exercise. Three, stepping up that aerobic exercise to a little heavier load. Four, introducing some weightlifting. Five, introducing a little bit of the impact or contact, and then six, resuming your full activity. Some info here on the NFL that we chose to focus on. It shows about 20% of players underreport or omit their injuries. And the next slide here will kind of show why they may do so. Big one are, contracts. The player doesn't want their to miss games and they may not get paid. Other ones are social pressures, sponsorship deals, sports gambling, fan base, any lapse in their season of whatever sport they may be in this case, the NFL, may impact their career significantly. And so they have an incentive to not report and potentially be told by medical staff to miss a game. And so some short and long-term effects, short term is kind of mostly focused on their careers, here showing if concussion happens within 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, the career length that, can be affected. But more we're focused on the long-term effects, in particular the CTE or chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Of note, famous story was Aaron Hernandez was a NFL player for the Patriots, and he was convicted of murder in 2013. Picked up another charge in 2012, but was later acquitted. But unfortunately, a few years into his prison sentence, he committed suicide. And on autopsy, they found about 75% of his brain, gray matter in his brain, had deteriorated. So it's showing that there's a strong correlation between chronic brain damage, in this case with concussions and loss of judgment and rational thoughts and decision making. Some more numbers here, going up to just last year, in my eyes, see that there's not really a strong decrease. It goes up and down a little bit. But here, the pre and regular season, 275 with the most, dipped down to 172 in 2020, but that's probably because there wasn't much playing going on. And then that back down a little bit, but not really a strong downward trend. So an advocate helped the players with their safety is NFLPA, NFL Players Association. They started in the 50s, mostly geared towards getting players clean uniforms and safety equipment. Now they're advancing, again, the safety equipment, but making better and better safety equipment on behalf of the players, and also advocating for their salaries and their contracts. The leader we chose to focus on is Dr. Alan Sills, MD. He works for the NFL as their CMO. Dr. Sills works with medical experts and uh, to protect players through unnecessary risk rule changes, equipment updates, and injury reduction plans. He's a neurosurgeon. Some positive leadership traits is, he's spearheading their injury reduction plan, and he has an incentive as a leader uh, to do so. Um, he's demonstrating both his desire to take initiative as a leader and his dedication to this field. Excuse me. Dr. Sill is passionate about his work. He gets to know the players on and off the field and creating interpersonal connections. And he is well published professional as well, and an excellent model for professional development. And his competency in his neurosurgery is a great example of competency based leadership. And here's a quick little video showcasing some of the new uh, safety equipment. Some negative effects, though, is Dr. Sills could fall victim to the Lone Ranger superhero traits reinforced through medical education. He may be self centered because he, as the CMO, he's the sole spokesperson for the NFL. He may have an ethical and moral conflict given his duties to help the players, but also he is an employee of the NFL. So he may be prone to groupthink along with the rest of the organization. And since he makes most of the final decisions for the NFL, he may not empower his staff members. So some future guidelines for Dr. Sills would be to recognize the importance of all his team members, collaborate more with the head, neck, and spine committee, encourage open communication with other or outside organizations like the CDC and NIH. What he shouldn't is allow the NFL's media team to make their ethical decisions and should not isolate himself from any rest of the team. References, and thank you so much.